previous class we have studied about animal tissue. So animal tissue mainly it is divided into four types, that is epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and as well as the nervous tissue. So in previous class already we have studied about epithelial tissue and connective tissue. So today let us know about muscular tissue. So what is muscular tissue and what is the main function of muscular tissue and what is the classification of muscular tissue? Let us know about these things. So the muscular tissue. So what is the main function of muscular tissue? The muscular tissue, it helps in the movement and locomotion. So it helps in the movement and as well as locomotion. So depending upon these locomotion, they are mainly divided into three types. The muscular tissue, it is further divided into three types, that is striated muscular tissue, second one is unstriated or non-striated muscular tissue, and third one is cardiac muscular tissue. So these are the three types of muscular tissue depending upon the position where they are present. There you can see their function also varies. So depending upon the type of function, they are further divided into three types. So the striated, as the name indicates, it consists of striations, that is the dark and light bands you can see. So that's why it is known as striated. So different names are there, that is striated, striped or the skeletal. So these are the dark and light bands you can see. Depending upon these striations, they are named as the striated muscular tissue. Okay. Then second one is unstriated. So they will be having the spindle shaped structure. So striations are not found. So that's why unstriated or non-striated, non-striped involuntary muscle. So depending upon the function. So what are the position where they are present, depending upon the position, their function also varies. Then third one is cardiac. As the name indicates, it is present in the heart. But the structure is, it is branched structure. But in case of the skeletal or striated, it is not branched structure. But in case of cardiac also you can see the striations, light and dark bands. So depending upon these striations, they are categorized as striated, unstriated and cardiac. Let us know where they are present and what is the structure of the muscular tissue and what is their function. So let us know one by one. So depending upon the striations, they are categorized into three types. So let us know about first one, that is the striped or striated muscular tissue. Striated muscular tissue. What is the structure of the muscular tissue, where it is present and what is its function? Striated muscular tissue. So you can see the light and dark color bands. These bands are nothing but the striations. These are the striations. So it is known as striated or striped or voluntary muscle. Why the name voluntary means? So these muscular tissue or the muscles can move according to our will. That's why they are known as voluntary muscles. So where they are present, you can see, for example, limbs of our hands and as well as legs. Limbs of hands and legs, and you can see in the neck region also we can see this type of the muscular tissue. So we can move our hands and legs according to our will. That's why the name voluntary muscular tissue. So depending upon, they are considered as striated, striped or voluntary muscles. And where they are present, example, limbs of hands and legs, even in the neck region also we can find this type of muscular tissue. So it consists of the muscular tissue, it consists of the protein known as contractile protein. Contractile protein. Due to the presence of this protein, we can see this type of muscular tissue, they are capable of the rhythmic contraction and relaxation can be seen. Due to the presence of the contractile protein, we can see the rhythmic contraction and relaxation. So, the contractile protein, the presence of contractile protein makes these muscles to contract and relax very fast. For example, the contractile protein which is present in the cardiac muscles, it helps to pump the blood at a regular interval of time due to presence of this rhythmic contraction and relaxation. So what is the main function of muscular tissue is for the movement of any organ. So this is about the striated muscular tissue. So let us move to next one, that is the involuntary or skeletal or smooth muscular tissue. Because it is called as smooth because it does not have any striations. You can see the spindle shaped structure. So this spindle shaped structure you can see, but striations are absent, and it is called as involuntary. Means we cannot move these muscles according to our will. That's why it is known as non-striated, non-striped, smooth muscle or involuntary muscles. So it is having different names. So it will be having the spindle-like structure and they are known as the muscle fibers. The elongated structures which are present inside, they are known as muscle fibers. Where you can see such type of muscular tissue. So you can see it is present in the internal organs. For example, you can see in the respiratory tract and digestive tract. So the rhythmic and contraction and relaxation is present even in the case of the unstriated or the non-striated, but it cannot move according to our will. So for example, the breathing rate we cannot control according to our will. The digestion we cannot control. So all these are not under our control. That's why we name involuntary muscles. Striations are not present. That's why non-striated or non-striped. Striations is nothing but linings. These linings are known as striations. So this is the main function of non-striated muscular tissue. Then the third one, that is the cardia. So we can call only one name and we can call another name is the heart. That is it is present in the heart region. That's why we can call that as heart muscle. So the cardiac, the meaning of cardiac is heart. So it is present in the heart region, and the main speciality, due to the contractile protein, it can contract and relax continuously. The rhythmic contraction and relaxation can be seen. So due to this, the blood which is pumped by the heart, it can be supplied to each and every part of our body. So the cardiac muscle, we can see the structure, it is branched structure. We can see the rough diagram here, the branched structure, and it is having the dark and light bands So that's why the striations can be seen in the striated muscular tissue and as well as in the cardiac muscular tissue, but it is absent in the non-striated muscular tissue. It is branched structure and it consists of the contractile protein, and where it is present means near the blood vessels in the heart region. You can see the cardiac muscular tissue. So this is about the three types of muscular tissue, that is the striated or the striped or the voluntary muscular tissue. Second one is smooth muscular tissue or involuntary muscular tissue, and third one is cardiac or the, it is also involuntary because the heartbeat we cannot control. That's why the cardiac muscular tissue also comes under involuntary muscular tissue. So let us see what are the similarities and differences between these three types. That is, the first one is the striated muscular tissue. So striated muscular tissue. And second one is non-striated. And third one is cardiac. So what are the similarities and differences? So in structure, all three are different. The striated muscular tissue, there is no branch, but striations can be seen like this. But in non-striated, you can see the spindle-shaped structure, and in cardiac, it is branched structure, and you can see the striations in between. So these are the striations, dark and light bands, and it consists of the nucleus in between. You can see the nucleus here and there, the striations and the nucleus. So this is the striations. So you can see only in the first, that is striated, and in cardiac you can see the striations, but striation is absent in non-striated. That's why it is also known as smooth muscular tissue. So this is the comparison. When we will draw, we can observe striations only in the striated and cardiac. Then second one, the contraction and relaxation. So in striated also it is very fast, but in case of involuntary muscle it is low as compared to the cardiac and the striated muscular tissue. Because due to this rhythmic contraction and relaxation, the material can move from one place to another place, but it is low as compared to these two. Then third one, in structurally also they differ each other. So it is branched structure, it is having spindle shape, and it is unbranched. So depending upon the striation, you can observe striations can be seen in the striated and in cardiac. But the rhythmic contraction, due to the contractile protein, you can see it is very fast in case of the striated muscular tissue and cardiac muscular tissue, but comparatively it is low in case of involuntary muscles. Okay, so these are the some similarities and differences between striated, non-striated and cardiac muscular tissue. So mainly the function of this muscular tissue is movement. So depending upon the location where it is present, the function also varies. So locomotion means the movement. So it not only helps in the locomotion and as well as the movement. So for example, in the heart region, the blood which is pumped by the heart, it will be supplied to each and every part of the organ. Similarly, the digestive system. the digestive system, it consists of the food material which will be moved from one organ to another organ due to this muscular movement. So these are the main functions of the muscular tissue. So the muscular tissue not only helps in the locomotion and as well as it helps to for the movement of the, in case of heart, it moves the blood from one organ to another organ due to the contraction and relaxation. And in case of digestive system, the food which is produced, which will be passed from one organ to another organ. So what about involuntary muscle? So involuntary muscle, it is also having the contraction and relaxation, but it is very low because these are not under our control. So that's why in case of the involuntary or the smooth muscle, you can see the contraction and relaxation is very low as compared to the first and third. So this is about the muscular tissue. So let us move to the next one, that is the nervous tissue. So what is the main function of nervous tissue and what it consists of? So mainly the nervous tissue it consists of mainly the brain and as well as the spinal cord. It consists of mainly brain, spinal cord and nerve. It consists of mainly three organs. So the brain, spinal cord and nerve. So mainly the nerve or the neuron which are present on our body, they will be connected one to another. So there are millions of these neurons are present on our body. So what is the structure of neuron? How many types of neurons are present and how they will be taking the message from the sensory organs. For example, the sense organs in human beings, we can see the 5 sense organs. They are skin, eyes, ears, nose and tongue. So these are the 5 sensory organs which are present in human beings. What is their main function means they will be taking the stimuli. So what is meant by stimuli? The stimuli is nothing but the external, in the environmental, the any action which will be taking place and it makes the organism to give response, that is known as stimulus. So that is known as stimulus. So we can take the example of heat, air, then as well as gravity, water, all these are considered as the stimulus. So for example, when we touch any hot object, so within a fraction of a second, we will be removing our hand. So who will tell us to remove our hand within a fraction of a second? That is the response which is given by our brain. So within a fraction of a second, we will be getting the response. So that is known as the stimulus is, for example, we have taken heat. When we touch any hot object, immediately within a fraction of a second, we will get the response to remove our hand. So it will take place within a fraction of a second. So this response, that is the immediate response for the stimulus, is given by either the brain or the spinal cord. So the nerves, the neurons which will be present on our body, which will be taking the message to the brain through the spinal cord, is known as response for the stimulus. So these are the main important organs which are considered as the main part of the nervous tissue. So what is nerve or the neuron? How many types of neurons are there and how this neuron will be taking the message from the sense organs. So how it will be taking the message from the sense organs? Let us see one by one. So these sense organs already we have taken here. When we are touching any hot object, skin is acting as the sense organ and it will be taken through the nerve, through spinal cord to the brain, and within a fraction of a second again it will bring the response. So it is known as response, the exact, the reverse message within a short duration of period the brain will be sending, that is known as within a fraction of a second. Okay, so let us see what is the structure of this neuron. So within a fraction of a second we will get the message. So we can see the structure of the neuron. So what are the different structure and how these structure help to take the message from one organ to the another organ. So let us see the main structure of the neuron. So this is the nucleus in the center and this is the axon. So this is dendroid. So this is the dendroid and it is known as cyton or the cell body, and this is the nucleus, and this part you can see, this part is axon, and this is the axon terminal or the nerve ending. Nerve ending. So these are the main different parts of a neuron. It consists of dendroid, nucleus, cyton, axon and nerve ending. So the main part here, the nucleus, it is the main controlling power. It is having the main controlling power. So as soon as they will be arranged one to another on our body, so the axon ending, it will be connected to the dendroid of another neuron. So in this way it will be transmitting the message from the sense organ through the spinal cord to the brain. So in this way the message will be sent to the from sense organ to the brain through the spinal cord. So you can compare this for the working of computer. So the CPU, it is acting as the brain and it will be giving the message. So similarly here the brain, it will be taking the message and it will give back the product. So the wires which are interconnected, here we can consider the nerve or the neuron which are interconnected to one another. In this way, in the form of the message, it will be sent to the from sense organ. It will be taken through the spinal cord to the brain. So immediately reverse, you can see it will bring back the message. So here the sense organ, either the skin or any other sense organs, they will be giving the immediate response for any stimulus. It may be any type of stimulus. So the stimulus and response within a fraction of a second you can observe. And this axon, it consists of the outermost layer. It is covered by a layer. It is known as myelin sheath. So because the message will be sent in the form of neurotransmitter, so it act as the myelin sheath, it act as the insulator. The myelin sheath, it act as the insulator. So this is about the neuron. And the neuron, there are three types of neurons are present. So you will be studying in 10th standard, but I will tell the names. That is the sensory neuron, which are present in the sensory organs. Then the relay neuron, which will be taking the message from the sensory neuron through the relay neuron, then the motor neuron. Motor neuron. So these are the three types of neurons which will help to take the message from the sensory organ, and within a fraction of a second it will give the response for the stimulus. A response for the stimulus. So this is the main structure. So you can see the star-shaped cyton. The another name for this cyton is cell body. Another name for this cyton is cell body. It consists of star-shaped material and it consists of the nucleus. Then axon. So they are arranged. One is connected to the another. That is axon. And the branched structure, it is known as dendroid. So if you see, if you compare with the tree, the neuron structure is having like a tree. So in the first chapter, when I taught about the cell, that time I told depending upon their function, they will be having their structure. So the neuron is having the structure depending upon the function, because interconnection is required. So the dendroid, which will be taking, so dendroid of one neuron will be attached to the axial terminals of another neuron. In this way, it will be attached one to another. So it will be, the nucleus will be, the axon, it will be bringing the message. The dendroid will take the message, and the nucleus, it will take the immediate response, it will be given, and through the axon it will move to the next. In this way, the message will be sent from one neuron to the dendroid, then the nucleus will take that message through the axon, it will move to the axon terminals or nerve ending, again it will send. So in this way, one neuron is connected to the another. In this way, they will be performing, and within a fraction of a second, they will bring back the message. So this is about the nervous tissue. So we can compare this nervous tissue to the working of computer. So the CPU, it will be performing, it acts as the brain. Here also the sense organs, which will be taking the message depending upon the type of stimulus. It may be heat, or it may be water, or it may be gravity. Depending upon the type of stimulus, it will be taking the message, and through this neuron, it will be taken to the spinal cord, then it will reach the brain. Similarly, again it will come back. So in this way, the message will be sent to one organ to another organ. The main function of this nervous tissue is taking the message from the sensory organ. Message, it will take from the sensory organ through these neurons. Neurons, it will be taking the message, and the spinal cord, it also consists of different types of neurons. Then it will reach the brain. So in this way, the nervous tissue, it mainly consists of brain, spinal cord and nerve. So the nerve, another name we can call that as neuron. So the neuron is the structural and functional unit of the nervous tissue, and the main function of this nervous tissue is it will be taking the message and it will bring back the counter message immediately within a fraction of a second. In this way, we can tell that as a response to the stimulus within a fraction of a second. So, depending upon their function, they are divided into sensory neuron, relay neuron and motor neuron. So, what is the main function of sensory neuron? It will be taking the message through the relay neuron next to the motor neuron. In the reverse way, the motor neuron, it will take the response next to relay neuron, then it will bring back the message to the sensory neuron. So this is the main structure of the neuron and how the nervous tissue, it helps to take the message from one organ to another organ. So this is about the nervous tissue. So we have studied about the 4 types of the animal tissue. Now let us know about how these animal tissue, it differs from the plant tissue. So already we have learnt about the different types of plant tissue, and we also learnt about the different types of animal tissue. So let us know the differences between the plant tissue and animal tissue. So what are the differences between the plant tissue and animal tissue? So we know the structure is very simple in case of plant tissue, but in case of animal tissue the structure is complex. So here the energy required is very low. Energy will be low, but in case of animal tissue the energy required is more. Energy required will be more, because the plant cannot move from one place to another place. So it is stationary. But in case of animal tissue, it can move from one place to another place in search of food and shelter. That's why the energy required to maintain, for the maintenance, it is more. But in case of the plant tissue, the energy required will be very low. Then second one, the supportive tissue. They are the dead tissue. Supportive tissue will be dead tissue. You can see many tissues are dead in case of plant tissue, but the supportive tissue in case of the animal tissue, they are living. They are dead tissues, but in case of the animal tissue, you can see maximum they are living tissue, because it requires more energy for the maintenance, either for the movement or to maintain, because it will be having the complex structure. And third one is the structural organization is very simple in case of plant tissue. The structural organization is very simple in case of plant tissue, but the structural organization is complex in case of animal tissue, because it consists of the tissue and organ system. But in case of the plant, the organ and organ system is not present. That's why the plant will be having very simple organization as compared to the animal tissue, because animals, they are having the cells together, they will make up the tissue, and tissues together they will make up the organ, and organ together they will make up the organ system. But such type of tissues are not present in case of plant tissue. That's why the organization is very simple in case of plant tissue. So this is about the differences. So last one, the differences between the plant tissue and animal tissue. The maintenance. the maintenance required for the plant tissue is very less, but in case of animal tissue it require more maintenance because it will be having the complex structure. So this is about the differences between the plant tissue and animal tissue. So this finishes the lesson, that is tissue. What are the things we have learned in tissue means animal tissue, plant tissue, how they are divided and what is their structure we have studied. So this is about the tissue. Thank you.